Welcome back to another Celtics Nation Rise recap. I don't know why my energy's so high considering the tough loss, but hey, it's we get to do a recap, right? So that's always something to be grateful for despite this loss against the Charlotte Hornets by a score of 118 to 89. And I'm joined by Carl McDonald, and tonight we're going to discuss this tough loss. That's honestly an understatement, and this Charlotte team was truly firing on all cylinders. I love the way they moved off ball. I love the way they played every defensive possession with heart, grit, and they really stuck it to the Celtics tonight, almost kind of playing a similar game to the Celtics, just trying to get up a lot of shots, really move off ball, and you have multiple guys on this Hornets team that are scoring threats that can really create chaos. So tough loss for this Celtics team. But Carl, what are your kind of first impressions and takeaways from this game?
Yeah, pretty much what you said. Plain and simple. This was a very disappointing loss from the Boston Celtics tonight. Definitely one of our, worst performances, not just on the offensive end, but also the defensive end as well. I want to say this as well too. I do agree, the Hornets do deserve their flowers and their credit. Going from one of those teams that really nobody pays attention to and is almost memed on for how they've played in the past and just in general how they've been ran and the players playing with them to a team that's more than likely going to be competing in the playoffs this year for the first time since 2016, if I'm not mistaken. So definitely that's a team to look out for, especially with them being so young and having some experience as well too, in the form of an Xavier Tillman who actually did play last or tonight. And this, of course, was his first game against the Boston Celtics since being traded away during the trade deadline. Um, this is a team that's somewhat reminiscent of the Detroit Pistons, not necessarily at the same level as them, of course, but definitely a team to look out for as their future is getting brighter and brighter by, each and every game that they're playing. So definitely, kudos to them for this game. And of course, with the Celtics, definitely a loss that, does hurt. It does suck. We'll be honest about that. But I feel like it's definitely going to be a loss that we learn from and absolutely rebound from as well. It's not the first time we've gone through something like this. Definitely won't be the last. And yeah, pretty much it's a learning lesson when it comes to, losing to a team like the Charlotte Hornets.
Yeah, I agree, and I think this team definitely surprised the Celtics, if we're being honest. I think you've seen it plastered across social media, across the NBA, that the Charlotte Hornets are on fire. I mean, they are really playing well right now. They're on a now 6-game win streak, I believe, winning each game by 15 points or more. I'm pretty sure that's the stat that was mentioned, right? I mean, this team is good. This team is really good. Diabate, his rim protection is impressive. He's athletic. He's lengthy. I mean, he's a disruptor. And then you have three guys: Lamelo Ball, uh, Brandon. My bad. Sorry, Brandon Miller, and Con Knipple. I mean, just all scoring threats. I mean, Con Knipple is so fundamental the way he plays. He just gets to his spots. He doesn't do extra stuff. He just finds a way to make impactful plays and put the ball in the hoop. Brandon Miller, a little more of a flashy player. I mean, he was a high flyer tonight, attacking the rim with authority and hitting timely shots and a lot of tough shots. Down late in the shot clock where you're just kind of like, oh, I mean, what am I supposed to do? And that's the caliber player he is. I mean, he will be, in my opinion, an all-star at some point in the next couple of years, just off of pure talent, pure skill, and he's contributing to winning. And then you got LaMelo Ball. I mean, this dude, his numbers have taken a slight hit from past seasons, but this year his numbers are significantly more meaningful. He's getting this team scoring opportunities. He's playmaking. He's putting guys in the right spot. And second of all, he just knows how to play fun basketball. And in my opinion, that's very infectious to a team. And when you have the right pieces around that type of player, you're going to set yourself up for success, as we see with the Charlotte Hornets. Let's go into kind of the stats that really stand out to me. I mean, first of all, 15-4 for the turnover margin. The Celtics lost around 9 possessions tonight and handed them over to the Charlotte Hornets for them to have opportunities to score the ball and take advantage of that moment. And against a team like the Charlotte Hornets team, maybe you didn't think about it coming into this game, but we now know that the Charlotte Hornets, each and every game, are coming out and they're going to try to find a way to maximize their time on this court. And tonight they did so. I mean, every single play, whether it was from the defensive end or the offensive end, the Charlotte Hornets were trying to, I guess, squeeze the juice out of the orange, the lemon, right? Like every time they were trying to basically, I mean, freaking manifest that and squeeze that and find a way to win a possession. And to me, that really does stand out. In addition, they had 26 assists. I think sometimes assists, it depends kind of on how you look at it. And I think sometimes it tells a story, sometimes it doesn't. Tonight, I think it did. I think the Hornets have a lot of good off-ball action. They have a lot of good flare screens that get guys open. They create, as Joe Mazzulla loves, those 2-on-1 advantages and find ways to put the ball in the hoop and create plays for their teammates. So that's kind of what I have for that. But is there any like stats that stand out to you, not just on this scoreboard here to the left, but just in general? Is there anything that really stood out to you tonight that was a big separator against this Charlotte Hornets team?
Yeah,
Daniel, what's
looking at
good?
the rebound.
What's good, brother?
Hey, Daniel.
How you doing?
Hey, hey.
Man, are
uh,
you boys doing?
doing
Good,
well,
good. I
doing
mean,
well.
as good as we can be.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Uh, I'd say one of the biggest things when it comes to these stats, definitely still winning the rebounding battle, despite the fact, we lost really, really bad. Again, rebounding has been one of those things that have been our greatest strengths. And prior to the season, and even earlier in the season, one of our bigger weaknesses, I would even say the biggest weakness that we had. But to see us, out rebounding this team, I'll give the Celtics credit on that. At least there was some hustle and some effort down on
I
that
will
end.
say though, Carl, not to interrupt you, but
Sure.
of their offensive rebounds, they had 15 second chance points tonight compared to the Celtics 5. So despite
Mhm.
winning the total rebound margin, the Celtics still lost. I mean, very small, 11-9, but the Hornets found a way to capitalize on those offensive rebounds tonight, and they had 15 points compared to Charlotte's 5. So I think, yeah, it's very impressive. It's impressive for the Celtics to continue to get those rebounds and win those margins. But man, you got to find a way to stop those offensive rebounds because they're certainly killer.
No, absolutely. And yeah, of course, that further, shows within their field goal percentile too, nearing in 50. Obviously, we saw them shooting off of every cylinder. But as you mentioned here, Andrew, as well, the second chance points and how we lost that battle, despite the fact that, again, we out rebounded this team. Again, I'd love to see the Celtics grabbing more rebounds and as you mentioned too, with the second chance points. I'd love to see us, utilize that even more. We did, really well with that with some of our past recent games. It's unfortunate that we weren't able to do it here tonight as well.
Definitely, definitely. And Daniel, welcome to a bit of a somber recap tonight, considering the result. But do you have any takeaways from tonight that really stood out to you?
Yeah, first of all, sorry about the lighting in the background, everyone. I don't know.
No, don't worry
I don't
about
know
it.
what my laptop's doing, but yeah, to any sensory people out there, sorry about the background lighting. But yeah, I think the first thing I notice is turnovers. That they were I've never seen them play like this kind of defense, and also at the same time, I've never seen us being so careless about the ball. Um, like this entire season. I mean, a 15-4 turnover ratio speaks for itself, and I'm pretty sure this. I mean, I don't know what the record is, but I feel like this 4 turnover performance from the Hornets is up there for the least amount of turnovers per game, at least in this decade or something like that, because I've never seen that happen. So I think, yeah, we did not take care of the ball at all in that aspect. Um, and also I think obviously if stats wise shooting also mattered a lot, especially from the 3-point line, where the Hornets shot obviously better than us. And so I think, yeah, turnovers and shooting from us was not going our way at all, which led to them having um more chances to score because they shot better. I feel like it's really that simple. Um, and I think a team where you only have two guys scoring double digits, there's no guarantee of a win, especially against an up and coming team like the Hornets that are on a roll right now. Have won 6 in a row. They're in a hot streak, um, and so it is a surprising one to lose because when I saw that Brown um, upgrade from a questionable to an available tonight, I thought, oh, okay. Without Brown, we could have seen a closer game, but I think with Brown before the game, I thought, okay, this is one that we should win, right? With Brown playing and everybody else healthy, but that was not the case, So I think it was a surprising one for many of us Celtics fans who were watching.
Yeah, I mean, definitely, and I think this is a tough loss, certainly. But do you think this is something worth overreacting to? I'm kind of opening the floor to both you guys. I personally don't think this is something you overreact to. I think this is a tough team in the Charlotte Hornets, and they're on a hot streak right now, and you haven't seen them playing at this caliber of basketball. And so Scalabrine mentioned it almost at nauseum in the post game and throughout the game, like watching this team in person and seeing their length and seeing their defensibility. That was really evident in person rather than through film. And I just think sometimes you just don't really understand what you're dealing with until it's right in your face. So I hope I didn't really answer that whole question, but what do you guys think?
Absolutely. When it comes to a loss like this, like I mentioned earlier, this is a loss that, we're truthfully going to learn from, a loss that we can truthfully, and no pun intended, rebound from. Finding ourselves, preparing for the next matchup on Friday. But more importantly, when we do battle with the Hornets, I feel like we'll be more equipped and ready for, how to maneuver them and to, isolate the likes of a Con Knipple and a LaMelo Ball and a Brandon Miller. Definitely, it isn't something that we should be worried about entirely. We're still one of the best teams in the Eastern Conference. Um, we're one of the best teams in the entire league. We're, actually one of the favorites to get out of the conference too. So not something, we should worry about to lose, one game, and even with it being at home, definitely something that again the Celtics are going to learn from, and we're going to be fine. You win some, you lose some. That's just how it is sometimes.
100%. Yeah, and honestly, I think that this game is a wake up call for the Celtics in some sense. Let me rephrase that. Not wake up call, but I guess a wake up call to what the Hornets are capable of, right? And this is a team that you could very well see come playoff time. And when it's playoffs, each game counts a significant amount more, right? And so if the Celtics were to see this Charlotte Hornets team in the playoffs and they didn't get kind of smacked in the face and they kind of were overestimating what this team or underestimating what this team is capable of come playoff time. Hey, you lose a game early in that playoffs, and now the Charlotte Hornets have a little momentum, and now they can potentially find a way to win that series, right? So just seeing this Hornets team at full power, full strengths gives Joe Mazzulla and the Celtics an opportunity to fully study them, see what they threaten us with, and respond in the next couple of games that we see them. So definitely nothing to overreact with, and if anything, it's a blessing in disguise. So we really see who this team is. Look, I don't really want to get into it too much because it's always tough when you lose a game. I mean, who really cares about stats and kind of the players that put the ball in the hoop? But tonight, I will say Derek White looked really, really good. I mean, we've talked about it a lot on this program, and so has the Celtics media. Like, is Derek White a capable scorer? Can he be that second option on a team where he's going to go get you a bucket? And tonight, his pace, his ability to maneuver the pick and roll and get to his spots and really just dice up this Hornets defense. I thought that was a highlight of tonight. Obviously, we didn't come away with the win, but I do think this was kind of a bright light that we could potentially kind of look at, especially against a Hornets team who is very good defensively. Carl, Daniel, what do you think about Derek White's performance tonight, despite the loss?
I think this is one of those nights where you saw Jaylen Brown not underperform, but I think not perform to the standards where you'd want him to perform. And so because of that, I think that kind of gave Derek White kind of the green light to kind of lead that offense. And he did that very well in the first quarter. Starting off the game really hot, 3 of 6 from the field. And he did that really well as well in the third quarter. Well, we're already down by like 20 by then, but still, I think it was good to see some kind of offensive leader on the team, with Brown having kind of like, I'd say, a quiet 20 points, 20, 11, and 7. Still a good game in my opinion from Jaylen Brown. Which is not that many either. But yeah, I think there's a night where they needed someone else other than Brown to step up, and because Pritchard wasn't, Sharman wasn't. You're not going to see that from anybody else other than your two leaders on the team, which is Brown and White. So not only is it good to see that they both got 20 points each, I think it's good also to see that Derek White stepped up in the way he did in this win.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, yeah,
I mean,
he
in
played
this,
really well.
sorry, in this loss. So I don't know why I said in this win, but
We all wish it was. Hey, we all wish it was a
I
win.
wish it was a
I
win,
won't.
but
I won't
yeah.
blame you for the slip up. But Carl, you got anything to add to the Derek White game, or you think Daniel kind of covered it?
Yeah, I would say Daniel, for the most part, covered that. Yeah, coming when we're talking about Derek White within this game, it is great to see him performing, even though we weren't able to come away with this win. Um, of course, throughout this season, Derek White has been, on a bit of a roller coaster. And even though he's been on that roller coaster, he's still been a very productive player for us. But to see him, putting up a near 30-piece game is still great, especially on a night where, although Jaylen Brown, yeah, like Daniel said, wasn't playing to his standards, coming away with the double-double, but still scoring only 20 points. And Jaylen Brown also played well too, despite the fact that he wasn't, putting up his averages. It's still great to see Derek White playing, in the way that a lot of people would expect him to play, that third option on the team, now second option, with, of course, Jason Tatum not on the court yet. I would hope to see, more of this version of Derek White. And I saw that little look that you gave Andrew. It's more than likely coming. I hope it comes soon.
I mean, how can I not, right? Celtics Talk Weekly. Rough L back at Friday with 0. Griffin, our guy, get well. Griffin's struggling with a little, ear infection and tonsillitis. So Griffin, get well. Get all that. Get all those antibiotics, whatever you need. Get right so we can have you back because Lord knows we need you. And against flag would be
Absolutely.
nuts. I don't disagree, and that would be a blast. I think no matter what, if Tatum doesn't come back, I'm still very excited to have Cooper Flag back in back in Boston and have give him the shot to play in the Garden in front of New England because I think we really are supporting Flag in what he's doing, and I'm excited for the Mainers. As you know, we have a lot of Maine connection here. I'm excited for the Mainers to have an opportunity to see Cooper Flag and see a product, and it's just inspiring for all the younger generation of Mainers who see Cooper Flag have that opportunity at the highest level, and it opens a path for others. So, kudos to Cooper Flag and what he's doing in the NBA and what he's doing for Maine. But I think we could go into the stats really quickly. I'll quickly go. Oh, I lost you guys. That's my bad. I'll quickly go into the Hornets and just and it, no need to go too far with it. But Miles Bridges 9 points. Con Knipple once again 20 points. I mean, this guy's going to be rookie of the year. Talking about Cooper Flag, I mean, coming into this year, you would have thought Cooper Flag was the outright rookie of the year. I mean, there was no debate about it, right? I mean, you just was like, it's destiny, right, for him to get that rookie of the year. But Con Knipple, man, I mean, he deserves it. And watching him play tonight against this Celtics team, I mean, he is efficient. He is a scoring threat, and he does not waste any effort. So kudos to him tonight. Brandon Miller, 18, but allowed 18 in my opinion. LaMelo Ball, 18, 7 rebounds, 4 assists. Kobe White, we haven't even mentioned Kobe White tonight. Another guy who could just come off the bench and really pour in points. And then the rest of the team kind of evened out. But I mean, you had 4 guys in double digits pretty close to that 20-point mark. And then you had 1, 2, 3, 4 guys above at that 6-point mark. I mean, everyone contributed tonight. I mean, you had 9 points, 9 points. I mean, it's just everyone on this team was finding a way to make an impact. And it kind of has a little semblance to the Celtics team and what they have on this roster, where it's everybody's team, it's everybody's night, where it's a collective effort. We're going to win basketball games, and I think you kind of get that feeling from this Hornets team. So I'm really, really impressed with what this team has in store, and I'm glad, honestly, I'm glad to see this team be successful because they're doing it the right way. But Carl, you want to take away this Celtics scoring tonight and just kind of their stats. Unfortunately, it's not very pretty, but you want to take that away real quick.
Yeah, absolutely. I could talk about those scores for the Celtics. Obviously, we had mentioned Derek White putting up 29 points. He also gives you 2 rebounds, 3 assists, and a steal on over 50% in shooting. Jaylen Brown ends the game with a double-double, near triple-double of 20 points, 11 rebounds, 7 assists on 37% in shooting. And then we also have Baylor Shireman. I'd say a guy who's always showing effort, on this team. Not discrediting anybody else on this team, but I'm always noticing how he's always showing out in some way, shape, or form.
Mhm.
Tonight, he ends the game with 9 points, 4 rebounds, 5 assists on 75% in shooting. And then pretty much everybody else is, ranging between 2 points to 9 points. Luka Garza gives you 9 points on 60% in shooting. You have Hugo Gonzalez putting up 8 points and 6 rebounds. Vucevic giving you 7 points and 4 rebounds. And that's pretty much it. As you alluded to, Andrew, not necessarily the best game for us. And of course, your best players of the night are Jaylen Brown and Derek White. And of course, Derek White was our best player for tonight, as again, he was nearing 30 here.
Yeah, I mean, tough game. You can't have just 2 guys win you this basketball game tonight. So it's pretty clear why this team lost. A lot of factors, but pretty clear. And so I'm gonna bring it back to us three across, and I mean, we kind of talked about it majority, and honestly, I'm gonna leave it up to you guys. I can get your final takeaways, or you can give me kind of your predictions for Friday if you think Tatum is coming back. So, Carl, I'll start with you.
Uh, yeah, first takeaways. Just learn from this game. Nothing to, harbor on about. You lose some, you win some. At the end
Mhm.
of the day, you just gotta, review what happened and get better each and every day. I see the Celtics again continuing their momentum and not allowing for this win to, get into their heads. As for Jason Tatum returning this Friday, would be very tempting and very great to see. But I'm sticking with my prediction that I had made on a past podcast. I believe he is returning when the Warriors come to town in about a week or two. I believe the 15th, if I'm not mistaken. No, I think it's like the 15th or the
Is it
18th.
the
One of
14th?
those days.
Is that game?
Something
Isn't
like
that?
that.
I think it's the 14th because I think it's when it's Jason Tatum's area code back home, and a lot of things lined up on that date. So I'm pretty sure
14th
that's
is the Wizards.
oh, the Wizards. Okay, so maybe not, but I
Mm,
know the 14th is also a big date. That's a huge one. Let us know in the comments what you're thinking. This has been fun, but I'm honestly I'm ready for Tatum to come back, or I'm ready
oof.
for him to not come back. Like I'm kind of done playing this game of predicting when Tatum's gonna come back. It's like we have no idea. What do we have? A magic ball that knows when he's coming? We have no idea. So I think for the betterment of all of us, just come back or don't. This is getting tough. This is getting tough. Daniel, what do you think?
Yeah, first of all, I love the comeback or don't idea or kind of sentence because I mean, it'd be good to have him back, but judging by how our season went, I'd say for Jason Tatum's health and safety, we don't really need him unless we make the playoffs this year. I think, obviously, we've talked about this. I think that's where the line is. If we, especially if we make it past that first round, that's when I'd say Tatum is okay. We might need you against these tougher teams in the East if we face up against the Knicks or a Cavs in the next round, or even the Pistons. You never know. So yeah, I don't think he's coming back Friday against the Mavs. It'd be good to see him back, but here's my prediction, or here's what I'm gonna say. I think if he doesn't come back like in March this month, then I don't think he's coming back this season
Which is fair.
until we make it in the playoffs. I think that's what I have to say about it.
Yeah, that's
Um,
completely fair.
sorry.
No, I'm like that's completely fair. It makes sense,
Oh
right? Like,
yeah,
you want
yeah,
to make sure
yeah.
he has time to actually like get in
Like
the swing of
get
things.
100% as well. And also, I feel like I wouldn't want him 100%. I'd want him 150%, maybe even 200%.
Mhm.
So that's why I think I'd be completely fine with him sitting out for the rest of the season, whether we make playoffs or not, whether we go far or not. I think this team has proved itself capable of at least fighting for that top spot, fighting for another title, maybe even without Tatum. So
Certainly.
whatever happens in the playoffs, whatever happens for the rest of the season, I think it's safe to say, as a Celtics fan, I'm very proud of this team and the season we've had without Tatum. So I'm perfectly fine with him coming back. I feel like it would also be more memorable, in my opinion, for him to come back on that first game of the next season. That's just what I have to say. I think that'd
That might
be
be cool too. Yeah, there's a lot
yeah.
of different
I
things.
think that'd be more.
Damn, damn, bro, you really had to call me out just like that? I don't think anyone else noticed. No, I'm just kidding. I appreciate you. This is why we like you, bro. You hold us accountable, right? And everyone needs someone in their lives to hold them accountable. So we appreciate you, Ron Harper, Junior fan. We appreciate you. But
I didn't
real
even
quick,
notice till now.
yeah, right? No one noticed. No one
I didn't
noticed,
even
but
notice it.
but we appreciate you. We appreciate you.
But yeah,
And
about the game, I think yeah, this is one to learn from, one to grow from. But I do think I'm starting to get a little bit. Um, Obviously, I've mentioned consistency as a thing in previous podcasts, many podcasts before. But I
mhm,
think this this next few stretches of games is where we're gonna need to start actually figuring that out. especially since I mentioned making the playoffs, becoming a top seed in the East. Because what we don't want is facing up against a Hornets in the first round of the playoffs. I think they're going to be a tough opponent to beat. So I think we'd want to stay above that third seed margin. I think first or second seed would be amazing for us because I think it would just help us giving us a better opponent in that first round.
Mhm.
So I think we're gonna need to start figuring out the consistency with these guys. And I have one person particular in mind that I think no rush. There's a lot of time, but we gotta get him back to what he used to be. Peyton Pritchard.
Mhm.
I don't know what happened tonight. I don't know what's been happening the past couple of games. I feel like since that Lakers game, hold on. I'm trying to pull
0
something up
points tonight, man, huh?
because I had a stat. I
That's
had a stat
absurd,
ready
man.
for him.
You gotta
Um,
be scoring that. You gotta put the ball in the hoop, man. I don't
yeah,
like,
definitely.
0 points, I mean, I don't care who you are, like, man.
He's only taken 6 shots all game as well, which I don't understand. I don't understand that either. Like,
Yeah, that's
he,
unacceptable too. I mean, they play great defense tonight, I'll give it to him, but you gotta get a higher volume of shots up, especially with a guy of his scoring caliber. You think
in the
him coming off
past,
the bench is still working, or do you think it's run its course?
um, that's a good question actually, because I think that might have something to do with it. Um, but to be fair, there's also the argument for the other side, where he's had 30-point games and 20-point games off the
Right.
bench. So I don't know if I don't think there's enough evidence to kind of say that it's not working, but at the same time, um, I don't know. That's a really good question.
Yeah,
But
I mean, hey, something to keep our eye on, right? And
yeah,
kinda
yeah,
monitor.
definitely.
But the thing is, I did say that, I think, a couple podcasts ago about Payton Pritchard, I think. When you mentioned the same thing, I said, "Oh, we'll monitor it, we'll keep our eye on it and kinda see where this team is at," and yeah, I mean, I was talking to my dad, and I like to bounce off ideas off him and kinda discuss all this, and we were talking, and yeah, consistency is important, and when this Celtics team gets into the playoffs, you know it, I know it, rotations shrink. That's just the name of the game. You wanna make sure that you have certain guys that you can go to every single game and know that they're going to make an impact. Obviously, there's gonna be times when they don't play the best, and you're gonna have to live with that. But in playoffs time, you gotta have guys that you go to every single game that you have trust in that are gonna produce at a high level. In playoffs, you don't have time to kind of say, "Oh, well, Kata's not really playing that well tonight. Let's give him a couple minutes here and there and see if he kinda turns it on." You don't really have that luxury come playoff time, and so I still think the Celtics need to find a more consistent rotation that they go to day in and day out because they need that come playoff time. They really do.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like we don't have anyone whose name is not Jalen Brown. I feel like that's our only consistent player this season. I don't know
Hey,
if that sounds dramatic or not, but I feel like
no, I
No,
don't
you're
disagree.
not wrong there. You're absolutely right
And you
there.
almost go
Yeah, I
look at
agree.
the Hornets roster and you say, "Geez, they might have more consistent guys on their whole team than we do on the Celtics." I'm not talking
that's
about
how I was
caliber
saying.
of player. I'm just talking about, like, when you look at it on paper, like, who has more consistent guys throughout the roster that you're gonna trust to give you points game in and game out. Hornets might even have that upper hand. I don't wanna say that and not, really be delivering you the real stats behind it all, but just saying that's not something that is out of the realm of possibilities. And
Yeah,
I think when I look at roster for roster, what team do I want? I want the Celtics, obviously, but as of right now, I mean, that kind of latter half of the bench, you just don't know what you're gonna get. You have no
yeah,
idea, and that is really hard
exactly.
on a team, on a staff to kinda make those decisions. Granted, Joe Mazzulla is doing a phenomenal job at making those decisions, but come playoff time, that leeway, that rope, it has to be shortened. It has to be. And so who are we going to rely on come playoff time to be that consistent force? I don't know.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, you could bring up Sam Hauser as well in the conversation,
Yeah,
and
Sam Hauser too, right?
put him and Perrin Pritchard in the same boat. Put everybody on the Celtics whose name is not Jalen
Yeah.
Brown in the
I
same
mean,
boat as well.
I do
Because
think yeah, go ahead.
yeah, I was just gonna say this about Perrin Pritchard. I've been studying his stats for the past few games. In the last 10 games, he's only hit double digits on 5 of those games.
Mm.
Like, and in his last 5 games, I'm gonna read you like the bad stats: 8 points, 0 points, and then 0 points. That's his last. Oh well, 0 points against Philly 2 games ago, and then 3 games ago, 8 points against the Suns after dropping 30 against the Lakers. So yeah, that's where the question of consistency comes into play because I don't know what's happening. 3 points against the Nuggets. I think something's going on with them
And it's
recently.
against solid teams, right?
Yeah,
Like good
yeah,
teams. Like what are they doing? And I think this has been a topic of discussion. A lot of teams are finding themselves being really physical with the Celtics team and really forcing them to kind of play that physical style of basketball. And I don't know, is Pritchard not handling it as well as as well as we thought he could? I don't know. Is he getting worn down? Is the 82 game season that Pritchard has yet to really like? He's getting significant more minutes than he has ever in his career. Is this 82 game season kind of wearing down on him right now? Is he not actually? Is he kind of getting worn down to the point where like he just doesn't have the legs under him
yeah. Like
that he wants?
kind of a lights are too bright kind of situation. No pun
Yeah, and I
intended.
wouldn't even say lights are too bright.
Well,
I just mean
yeah, yeah, in terms of games, in
you
terms of
even
like
hear
total
about
games in a
Kobe
season,
Bryant.
yeah,
I mean, Kobe Bryant, his first year in the league or second year in the league, he would always talk. He talked about it. Man, I just needed to go back into
that's
the gym and have the legs under me because I was not
that's
prepared for the full 82 game season this grueling 82 game season that we have to play through. And Pritchard has been coming off the bench, not always getting those minutes. I mean, that's a possibility.
that's a really good question. I think you bring up a really interesting point that I didn't think about. But now, again, like you said, it's something to look out for. It's something to keep an eye on
Yeah.
because you might be right.
It sucks
And
because I don't want to come up with that hypothesis, I guess you could
yeah,
say. I don't want to come with
Right.
that theory, and it kind of makes me a little. It kind of gets me a little anxious, to be honest.
yeah, yeah. It's a little
It's a little
scary to
scary,
think about, but it certainly might be the case. And
right?
it brings him back to that Magic series last year, where we saw their physicality and we I feel like we got past him, but it was a tough. What was it? Six game series that it
Hmm.
was.
The five
It was a
games.
tough and very physical 6 game series, and that's why I think I mentioned the Hornets in the playoffs because if we face a Hornets first round, I think uh, we could still get through. I think we will still get through, but I think it's going to be another Magic series
Yeah.
where you're gonna a team like the Hornets could definitely get the best of us in those games.
Isn't it
So I
crazy
think
how many teams are kind of at this level right now who have like this
Right.
length and can defend? I mean, the Raptors, the Hornets, the Pistons, Cat. I mean,
a
the
lot.
Celtics. I mean, over
Knicks.
West, the Spurs, the Thunder. I mean, there are so many. The Rockets. I mean, there are so many teams that just have length and can defend. I mean, this is the way the NBA is moving, but it's fascinating to kind of see in real time, and it's fun basketball. I won't lie, it's fun basketball to watch. I think a lot of people are thinking, "Oh, it's basketball. Where's basketball at? Viewership's down." But I'm telling you, it's a good time to be watching basketball games.
Yeah, you're right. You're definitely right. I think we're seeing a
Um,
lot of teams just transition, sorry, more
no,
into a
no, you're fine.
physical gameplay.
Yeah.
And I think we're one of the teams that is kind of getting affected by that negatively.
Hmm.
That's sure there's a lot of other teams getting affected by it as well, but I think it's fair for me to be biased as a Celtics fan to say that we're getting hit hard by these teams in terms of their physicality and the what's the word I'm looking for? Just the grit and the integrity that other teams
Hmm.
kind of bring up against us. Something that They have it. It's I feel like it's something they don't really show for the rest of the season until they play the Celtics. I feel like you
Yeah.
don't really see it much against other teams, but for some reason they play like a team that's 82-0 against us every single time. We saw it from, like, I'm going to mention it again, the Magic last year, and there've been a lot of teams testing us this season as well, and that factor.
Yeah. I mean, they're just this. I mean, you always want to beat the Celtics, right? I mean, that's kind of the league's MO. I mean, if I was playing and I'm playing against the Celtics, I don't want them winning games. As few as many games they can win, that's kind of it. But I just want to real quick. They're in the middle. Oh, Carl, it's just you. No, I'm just kidding. I didn't mean
I
to
guess
do
I'm in the
that.
middle. Nah.
I just want to quickly bring this up. Go Seawolves right now. We're from Maine. The Seawolves are I played basketball for them. They're located in South Portland, Maine. They're a community college, but they're a talented team right now, and could give a lot of D3 teams a run for their money. But right now they're in the Nationals, down in, or I should say, up and over in Buffalo right now, and they're in the first 808, 13-13. So got to give love to these Seawolves and the Mainers, and put on for Maine. Go do your thing out there in Buffalo, and come bring home some hardware. So we appreciate you and everything you do. It's a real family over there, and I encourage you, honestly, go watch them. I know we're an
Great
NBA
team,
team, and
really
I
good team.
know they're not necessarily they're community college, but I'm telling you, they're a fun team to watch. You got Mr. Maine, Chance Mercier over there. They're a team that plays together and plays hard. So if you just love the game of basketball, if you're a basketball junkie, I encourage you to go check this game out and kind of see it. Granted, there's a paywall, so that might stop some people, but if I'm telling you, even the paywall, if you love basketball, you'll pay it. I'm telling you. So, but other than that, guys, I think that's gonna cover it. We end up going longer than I thought, talking about this kind of sucky loss. So that just means, well, a good win. That's well, because I think sometimes it's easier to talk about the negatives from a game, right? It's just like the positives, you're all cheery, and then you can kind of pick away these negatives. And hey, it's still positive though. Don't worry about it. Thank you so much for watching another Celtics Nation Rise recap. This is a tough loss, but there's brighter horizons around the corner, 100%. Does Zero come back? Does the man himself come back, or is he going to post another little snippet of his documentary? I don't know. We'll see. But thank you guys so much for watching. As always, give us a follow on Instagram, TikTok, and especially subscribe here for more Celtics content throughout the rest of the season, and throughout as long as we go, right? So let's keep this train going. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Peace.
Later.
Peace.